Ken?
Yeah, it said that angularity in letter tops is fast thinking, which usually goes along with intelligence. Einstein had that. And what gets me is Trump's signature is like that.
Oh.
He is so dumb.
Okay, here's what you got to look for. Angles in writing equal anger. Angles equal aggression. Hence, Donald Trump's signature, if you look at it, that's what it is. And in order to write like that, you have to slam the brakes on, change direction, slam the brakes on, change direction. It takes a lot of pressure with a pen to do that. And that's a lot of seething aggression and power in the personality as well. It depends how it's vectored and what you're using it with.
Einstein had that same thing, though. But okay, so it's...
Yes, I'd have to have a look, because we have to look at the gestalt, the whole picture, right? So in your own handwriting, you're going to see a number of different formations. You're going to see angles like this. And angles tend to be aggression or strength, or they can be anger. If there's a lot of it, I'd start to evaluate that as anger. Then you're going to get things called garlands. And garlands look like Christmas garlands that hang like this around a wall. That's what some people's writing looks like. So they write a word like loop. This is a garland, nice hangy garland. Now you can't put one between there. And when you see a lot of garlands in handwriting, and the writing is very relaxed and open, this is a people person. This is the person who just thrives around other people. They're relaxed, they're not uptight. Uptight writing, uptight person. If you start to constrict, look how tightly constricted that is. Because the space between words is how far away you're keeping other people. The space inside your words is how uptight you are, how wound up you are. And the more relaxed you're writing, the more relaxed you will be as a person. So garlands look like nice Christmas garlands. Then there's arcades. Arcades are the other way up. They're like arches. And when you see a lot of arches in writing, like this sort of, a lot of this kind of thing, that's a cover-up stroke. Arches are protective. They can be even secretive and attempting to hide some of the personality. So you have to look at the whole thing. Now, what about your personal pronoun I? If you look at how you do a personal pronoun I, it will tell you much about yourself, because your signature is your personality on parade, but your personal pronoun I is how you feel about yourself. So, most personal pronoun I's will also show your attitude towards your parents. The personal pronoun I, as done in the Palmer method, starts here, goes up, and I won't go any lower than this, and comes around to the left, this sort of thing. Both the parents are indicated in the personal pronoun I when it's done in this fashion. The father is the erect penis in the middle of the letter, totally seriously, and the mother is the womb off to the left here. And when someone begins to have issues with their parents, doesn't like them, I'll see things like this. Who's the dominant parent, the mother or the father? The mother, yeah, this giant womb threatening to engulf the father and the entire family there. Likewise, we see something like this. I'll say to the person, did you have issues with your mom? And the kid will say something like, well, I didn't until she passed away 2 years ago, and I didn't get to say goodbye, and I don't even like thinking about her. So she's even removed the female representation from the personal pronoun I. And what's intriguing about us, mostly as North Americans and Western Europeans, is when we do a personal pronoun I, we can do all of our writing inclined and leaning slightly to the right. But when we do the personal pronoun I, we'll lean it a bit to the left instead. Now remember, the left is pulling the emotions back. And if you have rightward writing and then the personal pronoun I goes to the left, you're really willing to engage with people, to talk to them, but you don't put your own stuff in the discussion. It'll always be about them or what's happening, and you'll be very private and personal about those things in your own life. Questions? Yes?
One is if you have index loops with G and stuff like that, sometimes you complete the loops and sometimes you don't.
Oh, wonderful question. Now we're looking at how all these zero letters, the O letters, they're technically called oval letters, something like an A. Small letter A could be completely closed like this, but it could be open like that and still be an A. See the space in it. Likewise with the letter O, we could have a tiny space, or we could have a huge space, or even a G, because it's a circle part of the middle zone that represents communication. If you want to remember this so easily, your memory jog is this. Circle letters are the person's mouth speaking to you. How do they communicate? If the circle is closed, they'll give you the truth, but you'll have to draw them back out of it a bit into the conversation. They'll be reticent. They won't want to speak up, but as you draw them out, then they'll become more talkative and they'll give you their real thoughts and feelings. This person will never shut up because the words come tumbling out, as you can see. Now, how does this tie into human sexuality, ladies and gentlemen? In a huge way. These circle letters are the oral sex indicator. And when we see huge circle letters with big spaces in them, you don't know if it's receptive or whatever, but the person will often be hugely involved in oral sex one way or another, which is terrifying for me, and Chris knows the hideousness of this story, because back in Chatterton, England, my Aunt Marjorie, my wife and I went to visit in 1981, and I hadn't seen her in years as my dad's sister, and she sent us a Christmas card a few years after that and built up a communication. Then I became a graphologist and looked at the Christmas card, knowing full well what these damnable circle letters indicate sexually speaking. And this is my frickin' aunt sends this letter, and this, God is my witness, I do not say that lightly, this is how she made a letter O. That's right. That is Auntie Marjorie's O, which accesses and creates the most horrendous files in my brain. Thank God for NLP. But yeah, that's an indicator beyond belief. So that's where you're going to see the circle letters.